I call this to mind, and therefore I have hope. Your mercies, O Lord, never cease, for your compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The attributes of God that came to my mind as I meditated this past week, especially was his faithfulness. You know, I recognize myself to be an imperfect human who wants to live for the Lord, but I fail because I can't live up to his standards. And yet he has remained faithful through my life every moment from birth until this very moment, and he even holds my future in his hands. His works have indeed kept me safe, and they've held me all of these years through many trials and traumas that I've suffered because of people who have claimed to love me. However, what I recognize is, especially during this meditation, what I recognize is that God's faithfulness is in spite of me, and it's never ending. And along with his faithfulness comes joy and peace. And joy and peace are something that the world can't give. And I recognize that. And the blessing of having the opportunity to meditate along the banks of the Flint River and just listen to the water and think about God's creation and the fact that he created me and that my life matters. I recognize that my relationship with the Lord is based on his faithfulness alone. I fail all the time to be faithful, but he is always faithful. He is my light and my salvation, and I don't have to be afraid of the things that man might do or the attitudes that man might have. The Lord continues to bless me and keep me in his peace. And I recognize that as I meditated, something that was hard was because I do have ADHD. I had trouble staying focused on just the hearing God's voice. It was hard for me to turn off my own brain and listen for his, but at the same time I did apply the principle of moving meditation. And as I did that, I was able to walk through different aspects of who God is to me and my relationship with him. And something especially that stood out to me is that I do seek for the Lord to continue to heal me and change me and grow me into what he has for me, so that he can heal me in my relationship to him, so that then I can be a minister of healing to my clients and people who come to me with burdens that are heavy. As I was thinking on areas of my life that I would like to change and grow in, something that came to me and I don't know exactly how to apply this right now, but I'm going to seek and pray about it. But something that the Lord seemed to be laying on my heart is to add to the empathy that I already have, compassion, and I have to do the work of cultivating my character. And that was something that stood out to me that we've talked about in our discussions and things like that, but character has to be cultivated. And that's not something that I understand the principle of cultivating a garden, but the thought of cultivating my character is an application that I feel like I can understand and walk through and learn more about, and in that, apply the concept of adding to empathy that I already know I have, compassion. And again, I don't know what that looks like, but it it was impressed upon me as I was meditating how exhausted I was. It was actually hard work. I actually went into it thinking that I would feel refreshed as I came out of this meditation, but I didn't feel refreshed. I felt exhausted. I felt weary with the troubles of the world. I felt weary with my own sin, because I recognize that God calls us to more. And I recognize that for clients, and applying this for clients, and something that helps me in this thought of meditation, because I do believe in meditation, and I believe in prayer, narrative therapy, and journaling are some two things that I recognize help to quiet the mind, and definitely will help me as I walk through the questions of, how to add compassion to the empathy that I already have, but for a client. Encouraging the client to also apply themselves to narrative therapy in writing down their own story, and journaling and recording their thoughts, even those thoughts that might be difficult to talk to with someone. Just that practice, the exercise of recording those thoughts and journaling, help work out problems and traumas and worries that might be on the mind. And it takes a quiet moment to sit and be able to reflect on these things. And in the application for a client of helping them to learn to apply narrative therapy through writing their story, and use journaling to record hard things. The quieting of the mind offers the opportunity for the soul itself to quiet and settle. It can be very difficult when a person's been through trauma to think about hard things and to have to reflect, but when you take time to be quiet and you recenter for reflection, it offers an opportunity for a moment of refreshment as well, because the mind is able to think about things that might be under the surface causing anxiety, or maybe a depressive spirit. And through consistent patient work in writing down one's story, and then also in journaling the reaction to that story as you see it on paper, it becomes a time of healing and growth, as the soul has a chance to reduce its reactivity and look for a goodness and purpose in the hard things that have happened. God's faithfulness through this offers me refreshment in thinking of the joy and peace that will come as I continue to allow Him to heal me, so that I can then be a source of healing for others.